Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? As the New Orleans Saints embark on this new era of Saints football, every day and every step there's a new development, so we're of course going to follow it as we go along. Mickey Loomis met with reporters on Monday, first time since his season wrap press conference, and actually that was Darren Rizzi, the day after the season ended on that Black Monday, but Mickey Loomis met with reporters on Monday, and it was a lengthy press conference where they covered a lot of ground. And I believe in this offseason, obviously the most important thing you're going to do is hire a coach. Who is your new head coach? That's going to be number one. If there is a 1A or a 1B or a very close number 2, it's you got to make a decision on Derek Carr and what's going to happen there. Can you play number 20, please? Here was a little back and forth about Derek Carr's contract, which we talked about last week.
He wouldn't take a pay cut, different approach, but he has a $51 million cap hit. Would y'all be comfortable going into the season with him sitting at?
Yeah, I think all that needs to be, has yet to be determined.
So, not willing to really determine what they're going to do with Derek Carr's contract. I think that very short answer speaks volumes. Because the fact that the door is at least even open to moving on from Derek Carr tells you they are considering moving on from Derek Carr. Right? I mean, if they were, put it another way, you look around the league, there are certain quarterback situations that are unmistakable. Like, you know who the starting quarterback is. This isn't a debate. There are questions, like Minnesota's got a question. What do you do with Sam Darnold? I mean, you drafted J.J. McCarthy. He was injured. You play Darnold. Darnold leads you to 14 wins. What do you do? It's a big question. There's no question in Washington. There's no question in Carolina anymore with Bryce Young. Like, there's no question in spots around the league. Now, obviously, there's no question in Kansas City or Buffalo. I mean, Cincinnati, we understand those. Talk about the best quarterbacks in the NFL. But the fact that he didn't pound the table and declaratively say, Derek Carr is our quarterback, tells you they realize he may not be the quarterback next year. And a new head coach may have a lot to say in that. That's something else Mickey Loomis was asked about having a new coaching staff have a say in the quarterback.
So have like a large say in quarterback direction now, maybe in the also. And in that same vein, the staffing, does the coach have a clean slate to hire whoever he wants? Yes. Like, is there anyone here that you're saying has to be part of that?
Nope. No, I believe in the head coach determining his staff, and absolutely.
Believe in a head coach determining his staff. So it sounds like Mickey Loomis is going to give that new coach, whomever it may be, autonomy to hire their staff and certainly look at who they want to be the quarterback. So it's a massive decision what direction they go. One more, though, and this is 13 if we could. Mickey Loomis was asked just flatly his confidence level in Derek Carr.
Yeah, I have high level of confidence in Derek. Listen, he did some really good things here. He has done some really good things here. If he had qualified, which I'm not sure if he did, I mean, his quarterback rating would be in the top 10. His interception rating would be in the top 10. His yards per attempt would be in the top 10 under some really tough circumstances when you don't have, your top 2 receivers and you don't have that special weapon in Taysom Hill and we don't have the middle portion of our offensive line and we have a rookie left tackle. There's some tough circumstances for a quarterback to deal with. So I think he's done a lot of really good things.
Those are tough circumstances. And a lot of them are circumstances that you created. But the fact that despite all the superlatives that Loomis just lauded in Derek Carr, when you come back to it, and he was asked point blank about, are you willing to carry a $51 million number for Derek Carr? And he said, we haven't made those decisions yet. It tells you at least they are open to the possibility of moving on from Derek Carr. So I am moderately encouraged. He did not say Derek Carr is coming back. So I think it is largely going to depend on who the head coach is. You hire that head coach first, and then that head coach is going to make the decision if he wants Derek Carr to be his starting quarterback. I mean, Mickey Loomis just laid that out for you. He believes in giving that coach autonomy to hire a staff. And certainly it's going to be the same thing with who the quarterback is. And I'm going to repeat today the same thing I've said about Derek Carr all along. Great guy. Seems like a very good human being. Man, husband, father, teammate, all that stuff. All those things that are way more important in life. But we also know what Derek Carr is as a starting quarterback in the NFL. In 11 seasons now, as a starting quarterback, he has had a winning record 3 times. And one of those was the 9-8 season in New Orleans last year when they went on the winning streak at the end of the season when they were already out of everything and they beat up on the bottom feeders in the NFL. In 11 seasons as a starting quarterback, 2 playoff appearances. In 11 seasons as a starting quarterback, he is the first quarterback in the history of the NFL to lose to 31 teams. In 2023 in New Orleans, he was 9-8. In 2024 in New Orleans, despite all the good things that Mickey Loomis just said, the Saints were 5-5 with Derek Carr as the quarterback. He is the thing that I have said he is since literally the day they signed him. He is a mid quarterback. He is a lower mid-tier, upper bottom-tier quarterback in the NFL. You want to bring Derek Carr back? Cool. You're going to go 8-9, 9-8, 7-10. You're not going to be bad enough to draft at the top and get your franchise quarterback, but you're never going to be good enough to win the division, make the playoffs, and compete for a championship. So what do you want to be? You want to be a middling team with Derek Carr as your quarterback, who's going to do all the things Loomis said, right? He's going to throw for a lot of yards, stuff, because that's what he is. We ordained him here. He is the emperor of empty yards. We ordained him here. The emperor of empty yards, period. I mean, I'm not surprised that he throws for a lot of yards. It's what he does. You get down, and then he's chucking the ball all around. What he doesn't do is win games. So I'm not just going to sit here and throw out mandates that you cut a guy without a solution. I've told you what my solution is. And you've seen other franchises do this. The Philadelphia Eagles made a very tough decision on Carson Wentz. They gave Carson Wentz a massive contract. Nick Foles won a Super Bowl. Wentz couldn't live up to it, and ultimately they moved on. They ate a $33.8 million dead number. Philadelphia did. They said, you know what? We recognize this guy isn't going to get us where we want to go. So they ate the number, and you know what it netted them? Jalen Hurts. And their franchise right now could, I mean, they're the 2 seed in the NFC. They're in the divisional round of the playoffs. Might be going back to a Super Bowl. The Denver Broncos ate a $53 million dead number on Russell Wilson. You know what it netted them? Bo Nix. And they were in the playoffs this year with Bo Nix as a rookie. It is not easy, especially as a leader, to acknowledge your shortcomings, to acknowledge your misses. But the New Orleans Saints missed. They wasted $100 million of Gale Bentz's money by signing Derek Carr. $100 million on that contract was guaranteed. They have wasted that money. They missed. So it's the old sunk cost fallacy. Are you going to keep sticking with Derek Carr while you continue to regress as an organization? Or are you going to acknowledge your mistake, cut ties, and start building toward what your future will be? That's my preference. Be done with Derek Carr. Play Spencer Rattler this year. Go get a cheap veteran somewhere on the market. I'm talking the Jacoby Brissett market here. The guy that's never going to be a franchise quarterback anywhere but has started, so you get somebody with some experience. 2025 is going to be miserable again, but it's going to put you in a position next year at this time to draft your franchise quarterback. That's my preference. That's what I would like to see happen. And maybe, just maybe, Mickey Loomis is starting to see that. It is, if you want the pie in the sky scenario, it is what Cincinnati did. They hired Zach Taylor. They were in a terrible situation. They bottomed out. They drafted Joe Burrow. Won 4 games in Burrow's first year. Next year, they're in a Super Bowl. With the acknowledgement and understanding for whatever coach is coming in, that they are coming into a full-on rebuild, and you are committed to that, you can have success. There are roadmaps all over the NFL to show you how. That's why we always say it's a copycat league. There are roadmaps to success all over the NFL. Pick one that's worked and walk down that path. And that path, by the way, back to a championship, does not include Derek Carr. And I really don't think it should include Mickey Loomis either. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.